If I wanted to lose 10 pounds in 30 days, this is exactly what I would do. I've managed to get relatively lean myself, and I've practiced all of this quite a lot. So starting off it all comes from a calorie deficit. You cannot lose fat without being in a calorie deficit. So that is a non-negotiable. And what you need to do is work out what your deficit is. And you do this by going on a calorie calculator, which you'll find online. Very easy. And what you want to do then is subtract 500 to 700 calories off of that number of your maintenance number. So whatever your maintenance is, you want to subtract 500 to 700 calories. 700 is quite a lot, but again, losing 10 pounds in 30 days is a lot. So if we want extreme results, we've got to take extreme measures. And then I would cut processed food, because this stuff is highly dopaminergic, meaning you just want to keep eating more and more and more of it. It's never going to fill you up. We are on a limited number of calories, cannot afford to spend it on processed foods. And these foods are very high in calories, which is not going to work for what our goals are. So then I would eat only whole foods. These are things like apples, steak, cheese, any type, just real food, natural single ingredient foods. Single ingredient foods, that is what whole foods are. And I would avoid alcohol as well, because again, like I say, it's extreme measures, losing 10 pounds. Again, like I say, you could, if you manage to fit it in, but it's going to make it significantly harder. And the next day, you're not going to be motivated to do anything at all. So everything there, that is diet, that is the most important part. It is about being in a calorie deficit if you want to lose 10 pounds in 30 days. Training, I would be doing 8 to 10k plus steps a day. If you're already doing that and you want to go even further, up it. There's nothing wrong with steps. Steps are absolutely brilliant. I would lift weights 3 to 4 times a week, plus 20 minutes cardio at the end of every single session. So you're lifting weights 3 or 4 times a week for 40-ish minutes at a time, added on at the end of the session. I'd recommend you do something like the Stairmaster for 20 minutes of cardio. And you can also do like 1 to 2 HIIT workouts a week. That is optional, but they can just allow you to burn some extra calories and just increase your metabolic rate as well. 1 to 2 HIIT sessions, 8 to 10k plus steps a day, 3 or 4 times a week in the gym with 20 minutes of cardio at the end of every single session. That is going to do you very well, and it's going to help you get in that calorie deficit that you need to be in. Extras, it is good if you can fast, so not eat until lunchtime. That will just allow you to constrict your eating window. You should sleep 8+ hours per night on a consistent sleep schedule, because if you don't sleep well, your hunger hormones are going to be fucked, making this very, very difficult to stick to. You can drink black coffee, because this is in turn going to give you energy, and it's also going to suppress your hunger, making this easier. All of this effectively comes back to this. This is like the core value of it all, but these are all things that are going to make it easy to stick to. This is more of a mindset tip, but you want to focus on the day. And what I mean by this is focus on today and the actions you've got to do. Don't focus on the whole big goal, because that's not going to get you anywhere. You want to be focusing on this stuff. You want to have it aligned in every single day what you need to do, and you just want to tick that off every single day. That is how you get the result, not by fixating on the end result. You want to download My Fitness Pal. This is a tracking app which allows you to track your calories. I should have put that in the diet, but it's just came into my head. You want to track your calories. It's very, very easy app to use. Just download it. Very simple. Track how many calories you eat, because if you don't, you are going to struggle to guess how many calories you eat in a day. Most people underestimate massively how much they actually eat. And I've just had another one come into my head from diet, which I completely forgot about, is you want volume. And what I mean by this is you want to have a big plate of food that is low in calories. And we do this through stuff like vegetables, because you can fill up your plate. You can fill up half your plate with vegetables, and there's not going to be many calories added on, so we can actually make ourselves satisfied and satiated from having volume in our food instead of having high calorific foods that don't actually fill you up. You can just have volume. Obviously, don't eat just veg the whole time. You're just going to make yourself ill. You want to have your meat, you want to have your lean meat and your red meat, but get volume in your meals. It's going to make it much, much easier. And then you've got hunger cues as well. And what I mean by this is sort of routine and structure, because you want to be eating at the same time every day, because then you'll get hungry at the right times instead of getting hungry sporadically. And that brings me on to sort of something similar, is just routine in general. You want to build this into a routine, because if you don't, you're going to find it very hard if you've got to think about what you do every single day. Remove the thinking, it removes the friction, makes it much easier. And also you want to hydrate as well, because if you're failing to hydrate like the majority of the world does for some reason, you are going to again find this all much harder, because if you're dehydrated, that just makes everything harder. Drink water, have salt, have electrolytes, makes it so much easier. Amount of water, anywhere from 2 to 4 litres of water a day, depends how much you're exercising, plus 1/2 teaspoon salt that goes in your water. I do that every single morning. It's a good thing to do first thing in the morning. I'd recommend that you do it. Is you just get a glass of water, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I put a little bit of fresh lemon or ginger cordial in there as well. But if you follow every single thing on here, you are going to drop weight and fat very rapidly, but it is all about focusing on the deficit. Obviously, the more of a deficit that you go into, the faster you are going to lose fat, but the significantly harder it's going to be, but the more you're going to wreck things like your hormones. But like I say, it's all about a calorie deficit. You can do every single thing on this list, but if you are still not in a calorie deficit, then it doesn't work. But apart from that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some value from it. You can check out my peak health programs below in the description, or if you want to work one-to-one with me for 90 days, then there's also going to be a link in the description for that. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.